morning everyone, welcome to Whiteboard English, and today I'll be explaining past perfect tense. So let's see, past perfect tense is the tense that is used to describe an action or a situation that has started in the past and also has ended in the past. It's an action that has started in the past, ended in the past, it's staying in the past. It's not continuing into the future or the present even. So let's take a look at the format for positive sentences in past perfect tense. We have here subject plus had plus verb in the third form plus object. We know verb in the third form is the only thing for every perfect tense, not including perfect continuous tense. For every perfect tense, just perfect tense, it is always verb in the third form. And also for, unlike present perfect tense where we could have used have or has, over here in past perfect tense we can only use had. So no matter what subject it is, singular or plural, it will always be had because it is grammatically correct. If we use had for all of them, we cannot switch it out. So keep that in mind. Now let's see, using this format for positive sentences, some examples I have written down. You can see, I had eaten lunch. You had met him before. They had written several books. We had studied for the exam. He had read the book twice. She had baked cookies for class. It had rained a lot. Manu had lived in Bahrain. So we can see here, let's take this for example. We had studied for the exam. Someone's asking, how did you pass your finals? We had studied for the exam. It's an action that happened in the past and also ended in the past. We had studied for the exam. So the exam happened after the studying. And for the exam, we had studied. Studying, it's a process that takes a bit of time. It's not something that's done in a second. And that action has started and ended in the past. And also, we can see here, I had eaten lunch. I'm not still currently eating lunch. I had done it before, and it has ended. That action started and ended in the, I had started eating lunch, and I finished eating lunch in the past. Now we can see here, looking at the positive format and the sentences given below, we can see if they actually match. Now we can see here we have to write the subject first. Now in all the sentences we can see I, you, they, we, he, she, it, and any name. Over here we have Manu. So you can see in front of all these examples that we have written down, the subject comes first, and next up, just as it suggests, had, and doesn't matter which subject you have, singular or plural, we will always use had. And then next up we have to write a verb to go along with it, and the verb is in the third form, and as you can see here, all of these verbs are in the third form. And next up we have an object, which you can see here, there is an object added to the sentence. So next up, let's take a look at negative format and how we can change this into negative sentences. But first, let me change them into negative sentences so you can understand. So now you can see here I have changed all the examples into negative sentences, and using this format I have done that. So you can see here the format for making negative sentences in a past perfect tense is subject plus had plus not plus verb in the third form plus object. Just as all other tenses are, when we're making a negative sentence, the not, which is the negative word here, comes after had or have or has, will, have, been, whatever it is, and before the verb, which is here we have verb in the third form because it is a perfect tense. Now we can see here, comparing it into the examples given below, we have subject here, subject, had here, had, not, verb in the third form, and object. Now let's go ahead and read these. I had not eaten lunch. You had not met him before. They had not written several books. We had not studied for the exam. He had not read the book twice. She had not baked cookies for class. It had not rained a lot. So now you can see here, before, when the sentences were positive, it was talking about an action that had taken place in the past and ended in the past, started and ended in the past, an action that has taken place in the past. But now it is talking about an action that hasn't taken place at all in the past. Now it's saying let's say, take this one for example. How did you not pass your finals? We had not studied for the exam. Now, there's exam and studying. There was no studying done, so we had not studied for the exam. That action had not taken place, and thus that resulted in us not passing the exam. So we can see here, just as all these have said, it is saying that an action that should have taken place in the past has not taken place in the past. Okay, so now we can see here interrogative sentences, and for that the format is had plus subject plus verb in the third form plus object plus question mark. Now we can see the examples that have been changed into interrogative sentences. Had I eaten lunch? Had you met him before? Had we written several books? Had they studied for the exam? Had he read the book twice? Had she baked the cookies for class? Had it rained a lot? Had Manu lived in Bahrain? So all of these subjects of all of these sentences follow this format. We can see there's had here and there's had here. Subject, I, you, we, they, he, she, it, and any name. You have your Manu. And then verb in the third form and object. And of course, importantly, we have the question mark all over here. And as you can see here, all of these, they are now asking about an action. They're asking, had this happened? It's, let's take this for example, had they studied for the exam? It's asking, had they done this action in the past? Has it happened? And that is all for interrogative sentences. Now we can see here as a part of interrogative sentences, there is another way to write it, and that is with WH questions such as what, why, when, where, and also how. So you can see here with the examples, I have changed them to fit the format. You can see, when had I eaten lunch? Where had you met him before? Why had we written several books? What had they studied for the exam? How had he read the book twice? Why had she baked the cookies for class? When had it rained a lot? How had Manu lived in Bahrain? So you can see these specify the questions a little bit more, and you can use those like that. And also, if what you are being taught in school is just without this, please follow that and do not use these. But outside of school, when you want to learn more of English and you want to specify something and you really want to ask something about a specific thing, about why it happened, where it happened, when it happened, what had happened, or anything like that, you can add these accordingly. So that is all for past perfect tense. So that is all there is for today. See you in the next one. Bye!